Greetings and salutations.
I'm Paul Aaron. I was born in 1914, February 19, to the Reverend Mr. James F. Aaron and Ms. May Aaron.
And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friend, I'll say it clear, I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full. I traveled each and every highway and more, much more than this. I did it my way. Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do, saw it through without exemption. I planned each charted course, each careful step along the byway, and more, much more than this, I did it my way. Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when I bit off more than I could chew. But through it all, when there was doubt, I ate it up and spit it out. I faced it all, and I stood tall and did it my way. I've loved, I've laughed and cried, I've had my fill, my share of losing, and now as tears subside, I find it all so amusing to think I did all that, and may I say, not in a shy way, oh no, not me, I did it my way.
I want you to describe the first time you met. What you thought of each other.
I don't think she remembers, do you?
Oh, yeah. You mean when I was a child? Yeah. I thought you were the prettiest man.
I stopped at this house and knocked on the door. Lady came to the door, and a little cotton-headed girl about 7 or 8 years old was tugging at her skirt, taking her in the mouth. And that was Dell.
And from that point, you knew you wanted to marry her someday.
No.
Far from it.
I knew that'd be the last person in the world I'd want to marry.
Never even thought of it.
So one day I was going, I had caught a streetcar, and she was on the streetcar, we all lived, my parents and she lived within blocks of one another out
East Dallas.
East Dallas. She was on the streetcar. She smiled real big, said, "Where have you been?" Oh, well, maybe she likes me after all.
Is that how it went, Mimo?
Mostly.
So I sold that cleaning shop and moved to live with my parents. And then we were a few blocks apart, see. So we started dating. And from that we married.
Unforgettable. That's what you are.
Unforgettable, though near or far.
Like a song of love that clings to me.
Y'all go easy and y'all want to start.
Happy birthday, Mom!
Never before has someone been more
Unforgettable in every way.
and forevermore.
And forevermore.
That's how you'll stay.
That's how you'll stay.
That's why, darling, it's incredible that someone so unforgettable
Thinks that I am unforgettable too. Someone been more unforgettable in every way. And forevermore. That's how you'll stay.
That's how you stay. That's why, darling, it's incredible
That someone so unforgettable thinks that I am unforgettable too.
Started in art.
I was a very small child, and I drew a little picture of a bird, and my sister bragged on it and encouraged me to start drawing more. And that was my first experience.
Has art always been a hobby, or did you make a career out of it?
It's always been a hobby until World War II, and then they needed somebody to draw, so in the aircraft industry, and so I got a start in industrial art. My work has been mostly portrait work until say recently because I love landscapes. I love nature. And I'm trying to, you might say, learn to do landscapes.
What's your favorite piece?
That portrait of Winston Churchill and the portrait of Walter Cronkite.
And why is that your favorite?
Well, at the time that I painted those, I stayed with it pretty well constantly for a number of years, and I had gotten to the point of a good experience. And I had learned to be freer with my work, and it was more desirable.
You go off of
The Jews began to come back to Israel, and Bible prophecy began to become fulfilled. But there were no teaching on it to speak of. I could name all that I knew at the time on 3 fingers, except for the old timers. They like Ironsides. And one of my mother's forefathers had studied the subject considerably, and he had written a lot of work on it, named P.S.G. Watson. He had about 3 degrees, very smart man, somehow able to have an education of that kind. But anyway, I had always been interested in the subject. My father had always taught, and as I said before, what I learned at home, more or less. But then I began to study more intently, began to gather works of many authors, like and teachers of universities of that kind. There were not very many universities that taught that kind of doctrine, of that kind of Bible. And by 1968, I began to write on prophecy myself. My first customer was an organization called Bible Revival. The chairman of the board and operator of Bible Revival was David O'Nunn Sr. And he bought my books, so I decided, since he was interested enough to buy the books, I would donate books to his cause. He was my principal source of distribution from that point on for about 19 to 20 years. I did his magazine articles on a monthly and sometimes semi-monthly basis for that length of time. In the meantime, I carried on with my business and held a few seminars around in the Dallas area and some spot lectures here and there. But my main interest was working for this organization. Yeah.
So then when you were born, when did you accept Christ?
Well, as a small child, I had this temperament that when the choir or congregation began to sing those old-time altar call songs, I couldn't resist. So finally my dad got it over to me that it wasn't necessary to go to the altar and get reconverted. That I could simply go to Christ and repent of my sins and go on from there.
You'd go every time?
I just couldn't hear those old songs without going to the altar. They were beckoning me.
How old were you?
I can't even remember. It just went on, went on and on. I must have been about 10 or 12 before I got the idea that was not necessary.
Did you ever have anything real embarrassing happen to you at school?
It was all an embarrassment.
Oh no.
Up until those times I just mentioned, it was daily embarrassment. My life was an embarrassment up till that time.
Oh, come on.
Strangers still scare me. I just never could fall into meeting strangers, and it's hard for me to cultivate friends, close friends. I was always leaving my friends, you know, and I got to where that I would leave a little space,
Mm-hmm.
and I still do it. Almost always. And there are a few that I can come pretty close to, but I still think that there is a little space that I keep for myself.
Appreciative are you of John for moving on and helping you out?
Yeah, we couldn't have made it without John. Just him being here, you know. If we were out here on 40 acres in the backwoods like this, without John, it would be kind of lonely, I tell you. I'd be concerned about my welfare.
Yeah. Thought you'd see the day where you've got your fingertips typing on a computer keyboard and saving your books to disk and printing them out and trying to put them on a CD.
Yeah, that's been great. I'd stay busy at that. If I haven't got things around the place that has to be done, I'm doing that or I'm painting. And I'm busy all the time. I'm busy. I have something to do all the time. I guess that's contributes to a long life.
Mm-hmm.
We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Keep smiling through, just like you always do. Till the blue skies drive the dark clouds Don't know when, but
What's the secret to living a long life? And there's always a variety of answers. So why don't you give them the real answer?
My real answer is the love of Christ. I love Christ. And I love to live for Christ. We should know, as we shall know by and by. Thank you.
Yourself a new bride, didn't you?
Yes,
And I hear that she treats you really well.
well, very well.
And you got married at what, 100?
About that, yes.
You were about 100 when you got married?
Yeah.
It's crazy. So what you're saying is, for all the singles out there that are in their 50s and 40s and saying, will I ever find a good man or a good woman? Don't worry, when you get to 100, you're going to get one. So, okay, 99. Sharon says 99. She's watching from the other room. So Sharon is his lovely bride. And so she's keeping him straight, keeps him well fed, keeps his oxygen going in his nose, because apparently at 100 plus, you have a tendency just to go and take it. So she puts it right back in there. So, yeah, I remember, okay, so it was 99, so I remember going to your house, and, you know, I'm coming to visit, and I see you and Sharon making out on the couch. I'm like, I don't think I want to see this. I don't think I should be seeing this. I'm not sure this is supposed to be happening. I need to turn around and leave. But I hear that that's part of keeping a relationship spicy, is keeping it alive.
Yeah. Have to keep it warm.
You got to keep the relationship warm. You hear that? No matter how old you are. So I hear that she tells me that you say a lot of good things to her.
Mm-hmm.
Lift her up. Give her praise.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah. Well, I do my best.
You do your best. So you flirt with her quite a bit.
And still do my best.
You still do your best. See? There you go. Men out there, you can't give up.
But an old man, 104, don't have a very large vocabulary.
You gotta use what you can get, right?
Yeah.
But the key is not to quit. That's the secret.
Yeah.
Okay. Final words to tell the audience?
Well, that's about it.
That's about it, man. A few words.
Yeah.
All right. We'll do this. Look right here and then just wave. And say bye-bye. Can you do that?
Yeah.
And can you wave bye-bye?
I can only imagine what it will be like when I walk by your side. I can only imagine what my eyes will see when your face is before me. I can only imagine. I can only imagine. Surrounded by your glory, what will my heart feel? Will I dance for you, Jesus? Or in awe of you be still? Will I stand in your presence? To my knees or will I fall? Will I sing hallelujah? Will I be able to speak at all?